I applied to the ATA and they sent me to Ghana.
I worked in Uganda and in Togo.
I was at IT for Dominica.
It's in the Masai Mara region of Kenya, in a community called Pimbinyet.
I went to St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
This past summer I was working in Ghana.
The international program is about enhancing the quality of education for students in developing countries through professional development for their teachers.
There's 13 different countries, different projects, and teams were set out after some orientation to work within the teacher organizations in the various countries.
It was a professional development opportunity for teachers, so going over and working with teachers from Kenya to learn some of their teaching styles, some of their challenges, and seeing how we can collaborate together to help each other improve our teaching practices.
I think it's very important for organizations such as the ATA and the Canadian Teachers Federation to be supporting projects like this because, first of all, it's teachers reaching teachers.
We have a close association with the Canadian Teachers Federation. And they are our umbrella organization for teachers in Canada, and they represent the voice of teachers in Canada. So they work very closely with our overseas partners, and then they work with us to identify with our overseas partners their needs. And through a process of selection, we send our best ambassadors or teachers to these countries to work with their teachers.
Currently with Project Overseas, what we're doing is we're working with our colleagues, our partner organizations. We have co-tutors and we develop and create workshops for the teachers in the local communities. What these teachers do in their local communities is absolutely amazing. So what we do is we don't come in to tell them what to do, but we provide them with ideas that they might want to incorporate because they are the experts. They're the ones that know their classroom. They're the ones that know their context.
We provided sessions on everything from inclusive education, integration of technology, supporting special needs students in the regular classroom. We looked at inclusive practices for mathematics and literacy, and they did some sessions also on HIV and AIDS.
I think anyone I've talked to that's done one of these kind of cooperations, it's been an exchange, and that's the focus. We're not there because we're experts. Even if you've been teaching 20 years, you always have something new to learn. So it's just bringing those experiences to someone else and just the dialogue and conversation you can learn from.
Well, it's important for us to share our knowledge, share our skills, and also to learn from all our cooperating countries because best practices come from both sides.
Personally and professionally, it definitely made a difference for me and how I do things, how I teach with more global thinking.
Honestly, I think we learned more from those teachers than they learned from us, and that's kind of the neat thing about this project is they come to you and say, what can you teach us? And really we're just like, how do you do this? How do you teach 61 preschoolers in a classroom without help when I teach 16?
It really helped me increase my thinking skills. Because here, for example, if I'm able to play a story on a smartboard, well, what am I going to do if I didn't have a smartboard and I wasn't able to play the story on the board?
I get back to the roots of teaching. I live in a situation where I work with smartboards, I work with technology, I spend most of my day on a keyboard, and I have resources everywhere imaginable at my fingertips. I go there and I need to learn once again and be innovative in terms of how to teach with zero resources.
I use my experiences from Africa this last summer in my teaching every single day with my students this year, in my social studies class, in my foods class, in my LA class, in my math class, everything.
We talk a lot about global citizenship in social studies, for instance, and to be able to reflect on those experiences and bring those experiences to the students and show them pictures and tell them about the stories that you have, it brings a real light to them on what life is like in other parts of the world. And when you're talking about globalization and the shrinking of the world, it's important for the students to see that what happens in their life has an effect on somebody else, even halfway across the world.
It's a professional experience to the extent that teachers go down and they share their their craft, their knowledge, and their ability. But it's also a personal experience, and I can say this for myself as well. You come back with a renewed experience and a renewed perspective about teaching, a renewed perspective about teaching in Alberta or Canada, and just a real understanding of the importance of education generally.
I'm glad I applied. It's changed the way I see the world. We as a school have started working with children in Africa through African women's organizations. So there's letters going backwards and forwards. Sometimes they text message each other. Now there's a connection between those African children and our children in school. It's helped our children see things better. And it all came from this ATA project that I went on first.
We have been very fortunate in that the ATA and the Canadian Teachers Federation both have supported our vision of girls' right to education. So they have helped fund us to support these scholarships, to build buildings, to build libraries, to stock libraries, to train teachers. The Alberta Teachers Association International Cooperation Program is really important. And as a civil society organization, we aren't teachers, but we rely very much on the International Cooperation Program to help students and teachers understand the complexity of development work overseas. And these teachers come back from an experience working in schools overseas, and they can share with their students, parents, and communities how important social change is in developing countries.
The people who have experienced this can come back and feel enriched by this, but also be able to enrich their school communities, their parent communities, the colleagues. Our programs are making a difference.
It's an amazing experience, one that will change your life both personally and professionally. It's just something that more people should try and do.
Anyone that would ask me, should I do this? I would say without a doubt.
We're teachers 24/7. It's very connected to personal development. So it's just making myself a better person, and that in turn will help me become a better teacher.
Teachers come back and say, my life is changed. My perspective is changed.
We do affect change, and we affect change for our teachers here and there, and we affect change for our students.
One word to sum up the project: meaningful.
Collaboration.
Wonderful.
Life-changing.
In one word, I would say enriching.
Engagement.
Impactful.
It was amazing. It was life-changing. It was, you can't even put it into words sometimes.
Making a difference. Teachers reaching teachers.